Hey friends, so I'm still outside like I was in my first video because it's just such a beautiful day and I'm outside and we're learning about plants and we're writing about plants and reading about plants and the things that plants need. So I thought, why not just stay outside? It's a beautiful day, and if you guys are home and it's a nice day outside while you're watching this video, maybe that's a challenge that you guys could do. You could take your work and you could go outside and you could do your work. Because who doesn't love to get out in the sun? It makes you feel so much better and your mood is just way happier when it's nice and sunny outside. So that is a challenge for you guys to maybe take this video and get outside and do this work. All right? So the first thing that we are going to do is make a foursquare about what plants need. Okay, so I'm just going to get a regular piece of paper and I wrote foursquare at the top, and then my title is What Do Plants Need? It's actually a question. We're asking, what do plants need? All right, so there's 4 things that plants need. We talked about that last time. So I made 4 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just going to write down the things that plants need and then draw a picture to match that. Okay, so what is the first thing that plants need? What is one thing that plants need? All right, so you could have said a couple different things. The first thing that we are going to write down that plants need is sunlight. Okay, so in box 1, I'm going to write sunlight. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a picture to match. So I'm going to draw a picture of the sun because that gives off sunlight. All right, great job. So that is one thing that plants need. What is another thing that plants need? There's 3 more things. Great job. So the next thing that we're going to write down that plants need is water. And again, we talked about how plants can get water. They could get water from me watering them out of my hose, or they can get water from rain. So since we talked kind of about warm weather and we read a book called Drips and Drops, we were talking a lot about rain, and that's the way that plants were getting water. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to draw a cloud. And then I'm going to draw some raindrops from my cloud. Because that is how my plants, that is one way that my plants can get water. Okay, it hasn't rained in a couple days, but I have been watering them out of the hose. And it did rain last week really hard, and that was one way that my plants got their water. Okay, so we have sunlight, we have water. Those are 2 of the 4 things that plants need. So there's 2 more things that plants need. So the third one that we are going to say that plants need is soil. Okay, so I'm going to write that down in box number 3, soil. And then I'm going to draw my soil. So my soil is brown. And it's really bumpy all over. So I'm going to just draw bumpy soil. It's actually bumpy because some of my plants, I was reading the packets, and some of them needed to be planted in a mound. So more of like a curved, I formed dirt together and then made more of a curved surface instead of a flat surface. Okay, so my flower bed, my garden, has some bumps of soil. So that's why I made my soil kind of bumpy. It actually has some weeds coming out of it that I need to go pull those weeds out of my flower bed. So I'm just going to draw a couple weeds coming out of my soil. All right, so we have sunlight, we have water, we have soil. Okay, what's one more thing that plants need? Yeah, the last thing, they need air. Okay, so I'm going to write that on my line. And then to show air in my picture, I'm just going to draw swoops. Okay, like wind. it's kind of windy out today. You can see my hair is blowing around a little bit, so it's windy outside. So that's kind of why I drew the wispy lines to show and represent air. Okay, so 4 things that plants need in our 4 square. 1 is sunlight. 2, water. 3 is soil, and 4 is air. Awesome job. So to continue our writing, I'm actually just going to flip my paper over, and we are going to write 4 sentences about plants. So my first sentence, I have a sentence starter. My sentence starter is plants have, okay? So before we start writing, let's talk about some things that our sentences need. What do our sentences need at the beginning? Okay, this is the motion that I use. They need a capital letter. Okay, so at the beginning of every sentence, you need a capital letter. Okay? What else would need a capital letter? Good. Proper nouns, people's names, places, days of the week. Okay, those all need capital letters, but you always need a capital letter at the beginning of your sentence. Okay, this is my next motion. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm clapping my hands in front of me to show that I need spaces between my words. Okay, use a finger space to get a good space between your words. What is the next thing that you need in a sentence? Good, this is the motion that I use for a punctuation. Okay, it's kind of I'm taking my period and I'm putting it on my line. All right, so punctuation. Now you don't just, punctuation is not just a period. Okay, this is my motion, but you could use a question mark. Okay, you could use an exclamation point, or you could use a period at the end of your sentence, but you need a punctuation mark. And the 4th thing that your sentence needs, here's my motion. I'm tapping my brain. Does my sentence make sense? Okay, my sentence has to make sense. The dog throws. Is that a juicy sentence that really makes sense? We don't really know what it's doing. The dog throws a cat? Does that make sense? No. So we have to make sure that our sentences make sense. I throw a ball to my dog. Does that make sense? Yes, our sentences have to make sense. We need to also make sure we're having juicy sentences. The cat big. That sentence doesn't make sense and it's not juicy. The cat is big. The cat is big and orange. Those are good, juicy sentences. The cat is big, orange, and runs down the street. Now that is a really juicy sentence because we're giving different things that the cat does, the way that the cat looks, okay? So the cat big, not a juicy sentence. It doesn't make sense. The cat is big, orange, and runs down the street. That makes sense, and it's juicy. Okay, so that's what we need to be thinking about. We need to make sure we're having good, juicy sentences. They make sense. Okay, we have a punctuation, space between our words, our finger spaces, and a capital letter at the beginning. So my sentence starter for number 1 is plants have. Okay, now plants have many things. You can make a different sentence than me, but I want you to start it with plants have. Okay, so if our sentences aren't the same, that's fine. Now I'm writing in marker so that you can see it, but make sure you guys are writing in pencil at home so that you can erase if you need to. So plants have a stem and roots. I wanted to put 2 things that plants have. Okay, they have a couple things, but those are 2 things that I wanted to put for my sentence. So plants have a stem and roots. Let's read that together again. Plants have a stem and roots. Thumbs up if I have a capital letter. I do have a capital letter. Thumbs up if I have space between my words. I do have space between my words. Thumbs up if I have a punctuation mark at the end. I do. Now, does my sentence make sense? Plants have a stem and roots. Yeah, my sentence does make sense. If I wrote plants have a stem, roots, would that make sense? No. A stem stem, and roots. Okay, now again, your sentence does not have to be the same as Miss Martin's. You just need to start it with plants have. Okay, is your sentence starter. But you can put something else that plants have. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. All right? Now for my second sentence, we're going to start our sentence with plants need. Okay, so that's my sentence starter. Now I'm going to write plants need soil, comma, because I'm taking a pause and I'm making a list. So soil, air, comma, water, and sunlight. Okay, so those are the 4 things that plants need. You don't have to have the same sentence as me, just the same sentence starter. But you can have the same sentence, that's fine if you want to. So plants need soil, air, water, and sunlight. All right, so that's your sentence starter, plants need. Do I have a capital letter at the beginning? Yes, I do. I have spaces between my words. I have a punctuation mark at the end, and my sentence makes sense. If it said plants need a Kit Kat bar, does that make sense? No, it's really silly and it's funny, but it doesn't make any sense. All right, my next sentence starter is plants can. Okay, so plants can grow big and tall. So that's what I'm going to write. Plants can grow big and tall. You can write something else that plants can do. Okay, plants can give us food. My vegetable plants are going to give me food. I'm going to be able to pull a tomato off my vegetable plant and eat it. All right, so plants can give us food. That's great. That's something really awesome about vegetable plants. They can give us a lot of food. But plants can also grow big and tall. So that was my sentence. Okay, so do I have a capital letter? Yeah. Do I have spaces between my words? I do. Do I have a punctuation mark at the end? I do. And does my sentence make sense? Plants can grow big and tall. It does make sense. Good. The last sentence starter is plants are. Okay? So, I'm going to write plants are very beautiful. Okay, now that's an opinion. I think if I'm talking about flowers, I think flowers are beautiful. Okay, it's not a fact, just an opinion. Some of my other ones are facts. What plants have, stem and roots, that's a fact, it's true. Plants need soil, air, water, and sunlight, that's a fact, it's true. Okay, it's not an opinion, it's not what I think. I know that plants have those things. It can be proven, so it's true. Plants can grow big and tall. Plants can grow big and tall, okay? But plants are very beautiful. That's what Miss Martin thinks about plants, so that's my opinion. If you don't think that, that's fine. You don't have to write that, but that was what I wanted to write for my sentence starter of plants are, okay? So I have my capital letter. Good. Do I have spaces between my words? I do. Do I have a punctuation mark at the end? Yeah. And does my sentence make sense? Plants are very beautiful. It does make sense. Okay? So, that is what we are going to do. In this video, we made our foursquare, okay, of what plants need, and we practiced our writing of plants with sentence starters of plants have, plants need, plants grow, and plants are. All right, you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the awesome work.